7 years in normal life, right? We are getting entrepreneurship. Yes, definitely one. Today's class, that's the reason why I really wanted to share this live with you, is about something that is fundamental to the entire pitch session, which I learned it the hard way. Well, what do we not learn the hard way in entrepreneurship? Well, what I mean with that is, when I moved to United States 12 years ago, I started observing the capability of expressing what problem a startup is solving. And obviously every region has and every country has its own way of doing it, right? But in the United States, here in Silicon Valley, because it's all about pitching, it's all about conveying innovation, it's all about fundraising, there is a proper way, or I call it the Silicon Valley way, of conveying what you're working on. And it has a couple of side effects that once you're starting pitching what you do, the recipient, the one on the other side, when they hear you, if you don't have a certain format, the way that you pitch it, they sense that you haven't properly, let's say, assessed or learned enough, and then listen. And that's then bad for the entire purpose of us being an entrepreneur and trying, to raise money. Basically the signals that you are conveying, the way that you're expressing yourself, how much time you spend on things, the problem that you're solving, for whom you're solving. So it's all about communication, and it has the title value proposition. Okay? And the value proposition is not a gut feeling. It's not about, have you guys heard of value proposition? Raise your hands. Value proposition, kind of. What's a value proposition here with your words?
Value proposition is the way you're going to express your startup.
Okay, express your startup. Anything else? Value proposition? Anybody?
Is the real value you're gonna bring with your solution.
The real value. Any other thoughts?
What you want to offer to the customer?
Okay, what you want to offer?
Secret sauce.
Okay, secret sauce. It's all correct, right? And it's all packaged in this one sentence that is defined as the value proposition. Okay, and the sentence, the outcome of this sentence that I'm going today to elaborate upon is not based on your gut feeling. Oh, how does it sound? Oh, it sounds kind of cool. What do you think about that? Oh, no. You have a framework. Okay? By the way, there is no blueprint to anything in entrepreneurship, but there are frameworks, a lot of frameworks, right? And today I'm going to share with you a framework so that you can assess and go through this framework, okay? And then as a result, you have a value proposition that when you pitch that, regardless if you pitch it to investors, your future colleagues, presses, the press, you say, okay, this sounds appealing. Okay? Excited? Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
I can click for your slides.
You do?
Yeah, no, I can.
Oh, you do? Oh, you do. You do. Help me clicking. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay. Value proposition and value proposition. Is this connected with an audio? It's maybe it is, right? Okay, let's click 2 times. Let's see if this works.
Yes. It's updating.
That's exciting.
Oh, this is not what we want to do.
That's not what we
But we need some sound.
We do.
Otherwise, do you have sounds up there?
I believe so.
It's not online. Oh,
If I hit play,
yeah.
then is it playing up here?
You can use if you mute one of the like laptops. Yeah.
You're right, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Should we do that? Or should I plug it into this one?
Do we put the mic here on? Wait, let's do it the manual way.
That I developed an acid wash that hollows out the carbon bonds and replaces them with
Sorry. I think let's just switch the screen sharing. I'll switch to mirroring. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
We should be good now.
We're teaching decentralized application Web3 and not hardware. So it is allowed for us to have some hardware
Yes.
challenges. They're working? Oh,
Yes,
that's
now
good.
we're good.
Let's see if it works.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Exciting. Tell me about it.
I've developed a chemical isomer that links to volatile organic compounds.
There we go. And we're going to share. Amazing. Gosh. This it muted itself. All right.
Hey,
Yes.
I've got a great idea for a business.
That's exciting. Tell me about it.
I've developed a chemical isomer that links to volatile organic compounds, causing carbon bonds to rupture and wraps them in a nanotube coating.
Huh, that's a little confusing. Can you dumb it down for me?
Sure. What I do is I take a proprietary isomer that I developed with a picric acid wash that hollows out the carbon bonds and replaces them with a nanotube wrapping.
Okay, so I guess it's pretty technical.
Oh yeah, I've been working on this isomer for 9 years.
So what's the business idea?
To sell it,
To who?
everybody will want one,
What for?
so they can wrap their volatile organic compounds in carbon nanotubes.
I think you might need a target customer. I don't think I need to wrap my compounds in your nanotube.
Well, maybe not you.
So, for people who buy it, what's the value you are providing them?
I've developed a chemical isomer that links to volatile organic compounds, causing carbon bonds to rupture and wraps them in a nanotube coating.
You've said that already. This is getting annoying. Why should anyone care about your isomer?
I spent 9 years on this.
I know that. Okay, pretend I'm an investor. How can I make money off your product?
By selling it.
You're a smart guy, but try not to think like a scientist. Think like a business person.
Okay. Value chain. Term sheet.
I have to go now and answer that.
That's not your phone.
I know.
It is interesting when you observe situation like this, that it's easy to judge or it's easy to assess from the outside perspective. But as soon as you get into the mode of really pitching as an entrepreneur, right? And as soon as you start having and seeing more of your product, your prototype, your mock-up, the more you start linking the way that you describe what you do with the product. The more you start expressing primarily what you do with the product. This is a pitfall, big pitfall. Because we tend to fall in love with the product, and then we start to say, what is it you do? Well, you ask, what is it you do? And then Web 2, we heard a lot of, oh, I have an AI platform that, right? Or I have a platform with an SDK that. So you start always with the product. So if you start triggering that in your mind as an entrepreneur, to not start positioning the product, okay? You're already ahead of the game compared to many communicators, especially when you pitch in front of a crowd, okay? And focusing on products, and because you only primarily focus on products, right? Who knows what it is? Who remembers that? Anybody? Yeah. To focus on product primarily without really assessing the pains of your potential customer, right, leads to
Next slide.
most probably to failing. Why? Because you primarily are so excited about what you do on the product side and without really assessing what the end customer wants, right? So instead of us, is it important to focus on the product? Absolutely. What is the priority though? What is the priority though? What is the priority though? Right? And who has a need? And because you have a need as a customer, what is the consequence of that? You are willing to? Exactly, that's the business case. Now, do we need to build an awesome product? Yes. But instead of just focusing when we build an awesome product on things like, oh, who is my customer, what age is it, what demographic do they have, right? We need to, very simple as we put it together here, to say, well, let's try to convey that we have a customer segment that would like actually to solve a problem. So there is a status quo today here as a customer, as my potential target audience, and I would like to move from the status quo into the desired future because I would like to solve something. And in order to get into my desired future, from my status quo into my desired future, my goal is to get help by hiring a product or a service that fulfills my needs, right? That's kind of the logic that I would like to share with you today by assessing, okay, the so-called jobs to be done. What is it that your target audience tries to achieve? Definitely not just having a technology for the sake of having a technology, right? But using and leveraging technology that we are building in order that leads us from today's challenging status quo into the desired future by swiping the credit card and getting access to the next one, right? And the way that you express this entire story, right, is not by you selling basically, you know, the thrill, right? But conveying how they can, with the drill, solve the challenge, right? And the framework that I would like to share with you today, and then also have it as a overall assignment, is the value proposition canvas, which is a component of two elements, right? The customer segment and the product specification here on the left side. And we're going to do together a test or in the run through this entire canvas today. By the way, the customer segment and the value proposition is a subset of the value proposition canvas that most of us have heard, maybe downloaded, right? The reason why I never start with this class with this is because I think that there are many more nuances to how you build a startup. Now, is this helpful? Absolutely. It's a framework, it's helpful. It gives you a quick assessment of what you're planning to do and to structure your thoughts. Today, I'll be focusing only on customer segments and the value proposition, right? So you see value proposition, customer segments. That's the play that basically gets us to the value proposition. So no gut feeling on how you describe your product, you have basically there an assessment, right? And so you see that the subsegment of each of those sides, again, the right side is the customer segment, the left side is the value proposition, they play with each other. It's a match between the left side and the right side, and each of those sides, when you do your assignment, when you run through an activity like this, it brings you clarity on 3 sub-pillars for each of those, okay? So customer segment is where we start first, and then we are going to navigate through what are the jobs that my customer needs to do or wants to get done? What are the pains that the customer has, the obstacles, and what are the gains? Once I have the right side done, I have a priority list of what is important. And I have a step 1, step 2, step 3 things that I would like to address first with what? With my solution, with my product. And that's why you basically start mentioning, okay, what is it that I'm doing as a pain reliever? What's my product like? And what are the benefits for my product? So let's move from a thesis into the practice, right? And I'll give you an example based on the Tesla model, okay? By the way, where do we stand in our journey again? We had an idea, team formation, then we are today in the phase of mocking up, right? Having a mock-up that we will be, by the way, you will be presenting it to the mentors today, right? What you have learned there. So we have initial validation maybe, some of you more, some of you less. That's the phase we are in. And because of that, we have an assumption, which is we think that for what we are building, we kind of know who the target audience is, right? Otherwise you wouldn't have engaged with, right? And this is where this fits beautifully into that. Why? Because you need, as a pre-requirement for the value proposition, this notion of who is your target audience. So step 1, the target audience, okay? The definition of it, what we did already a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Now, based on that, you say, okay, my customer, okay, that would like to buy, the example is here, a Tesla, right? So that's basically the exercise. They would like to buy a Tesla or potentially swipe the credit card for a Tesla. Their actual need, there is a need. Why they want to buy a Tesla? Question. Why do you want to buy a Tesla? Why do we want to buy a Tesla? Yeah?
It depends. Like for some it might be for quality.
Okay, so she started with it depends, meaning there are several options. Right. What can those options be? Yes. Social status, one option, yes.
I want to get from
A to B, like very practical, yes. Electrical car, which associates you with environmental perspectives, right? Yes. The design, okay? Say what? Autonomous ability of the car, so technology, right? So yes. Autonomy, okay? All right. And that's exactly the exercise that you do with your persona, right? Why do they actually want that? Are we clear about that, right? So if you click on that, you have, again, on the upper side, who is my persona to buy the Tesla? You have to have a certain demographic, right? And then you go and you say, what is it they want to do actually? And you see here a list of things you basically in your exercise, you start brainstorming, okay, and collecting ideas. There is no way at the beginning when you collect ideas, very important, right, to start prioritizing ideas, okay? So when you are in this exercise, do you start saying, oh, maybe not? No, just let them come, okay? And the reason for that is because the second step, you start understanding, wait a second, do I have to build a product that does it all? And how do I address actually? But what is really important, right? Like, is commuting more important than performance, more important than design, more important than, right? And you start saying, well, what, all these things make your product, yes, but what is it that really is relevant for a specific target audience? But, oh, wait a second, Tommaso. But what if my product might be for multiple target audience? Is this question legit? Then what? What's your name? What do you think?
I think, yeah, it's legit, but
What do?
you need to
You close shop? You don't do it? Is it too much?
you need to think about different strategies of how to reach them.
Okay. And then you start prioritizing differently. Okay. And this is a frequent asked question that I get. So when you have basically recognized in this exercise that, wait a second, this target audience has this importance for this very specific jobs to be done, but this target audience, then you start addressing them differently, right? Concrete example with Tesla again, imagine that, making things up now, imagine that a Tesla would even have a connection with the medical system, and I'm a doctor, okay? Now, not only do I commute and have performance and electric vehicle, but I primarily buy it because I have also an interconnection with the medical system, right? On the other hand, there is, my wife that says, no, I just want a performance car, so it's not at all interesting. So how do you position and how do you create the value proposition for persona A? Get your performance car, right? And persona B, you are real-time connected with medical system, right? Does it make sense, guys? So far, so good? So, jobs to be done. What are the jobs? Yes, please.
And yeah, also for Tesla, I think they rely on the brand and try to address each persona by creating different models of car.
Exactly. You have them basically the subversions of it, right? So jobs, the first step is, who is my persona, and assess their needs, their jobs, what is it they want to achieve, what is it they want to get done, okay? And now you start thinking, but wait a second. If they are thinking of buying a Tesla, what are their objections? What are their obstacles that they have in mind? What do you think are their doubts? Because when you buy a product, when I'm going to buy your product, your target audience, right? They're not just looking at your product. And especially if it's innovation, they're going to do a research, looking at others, right? And they are going to have doubts. They're going to see, I'm not sure if I swipe the credit card now, right? So in the case of Tesla, what do you think are doubts? Like range of the battery. What else? What do you think? The pains of the yeah. What do you think? What do you think is an obstacle before somebody says I'm buying? So we had here charger. Okay. Yes. It's a sorry what?
If the autopilot actually works.
Okay, so technical issues, right? Electric vehicle charging station, question mark, what else? What do you mean with that?
Like will the car, like will I have to charge it every time, or like can it stay like for a few days?
So at the end of the day, saying, okay, wait a second, this is a new car. It behaves differently than the old car. Are we building something that is new? Are we building so it's always the case when you build innovation, right? So and then those doubts are very legit to say, wait a second, I know that there are a bunch of gas stations, right? But I don't have a behavior with charging. I don't know when do I have to charge. So all these doubts are relevant for you. And then what you do? What is it you do as the next step? What do you think? Okay, next step. Thank you so much. So here you collect them, right? What we did right now, like of charging station, few of that of battery, frequency of charging. You see, this is almost in real time. Did you write them right now?
Hey, we did.
We match almost
Totally.
the same way. Okay,
Yeah.
and then as a next step, what you do again is, you see the flow here, you always, jobs to get done, what is the most important one for the specific target audience, right? Then you say, what are the obstacles? You collect them and you say, what is the most extreme one that we need to address? And again, what we are doing right now is a navigating through a framework in order for us at the end of this exercise, you pick the highest priority, the most extreme, and you build them into your value proposition, because then it's very simple to express. Okay, next one, please. Thank you so much, Maria. So, what is it that we are customers intended to do? What are the obstacles? And now is, yes. Well, what is it that I want from it? What is it that I'm expecting from it? Okay, what is that I would like to achieve by buying it, right? You got the point, right? I would like to, in the case of having a design car, I would like to have compliments from it, right? Or I would like to have performance car, right? So this is what I would like to achieve. Is the structure around the customer segment, jobs to be done, pains, and now gains? Is this clear? And it's always the two-step strategy of assessing those, collecting the information, and then, please, yeah, and then basically prioritizing those. Okay? By the way, this is not only fundamental for your value proposition, but it's also fundamental for prioritizing. Is important also for, what do you guys think? If I am clear about what my customer wants, I have assessed what my customer wants, and then I prioritize that. For what is it fundamental important when you get into the development of a product? This is so important. And because you are clear about what you want, what does it cost into your team? Is it good or is it bad being clear? I mean, clear expectation. Do you think that your team will ask you, how did you come up with this idea that you want to prioritize this? Who's an engineer here, right? Does it make sense? Are we not asking and say, wait a second, why should I build exactly that and not start at the other end, right? So you're going to build a communication, a strategy, a task management, an expectation setting that brings you evidence. So not only is it great from a result perspective that you are going to be able to communicate that clearly, but you're going to have a great leadership style, or what you call collegial style, because you say, wow, this is fundamental. This has evidence, right? Okay. Now, for the phase that we are in right now in our projects, today 10 voice. What? Say what? Was it a joke? I want to laugh too. Hey?
I'm saying he's a test card.
Oh, okay. So what you would like to do, okay, is those test cards. You guys have seen those, right? Last time we did it, right? And you have the same basically here approach, right? Again, many people say, well, what should I do it? Why? So first of all, you should do nothing that anybody tells you, right? Because I mean, you can do whatever you think you're right. I'm just giving you some guidance, but the importance why I do this, right? Because before you start actually going out and starting talking with customer, and then you have more and more on your table, you have kind of a framework that you wrote out for the first time that you can go back after a week and say, wait a second, what is it that I actually wanted to achieve? Right? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So now that we have mapped out here the customer segment, we go into the value proposition, right? So on the right side, we had, well, what job do you want to get done? Okay, that's around your customer. The left side refers to your, right. So, and then you basically start mirroring and doing the same exercise. My customer wanted to get something done. Question for us is, well, what is it that we should deliver? My customer wants transparency, immutable things. My customer would like to have an evidence that it's true, it's real, I'm the owner. My customer would like to have an opinion and a voice. I'm going in a direction, okay, cool. There is no way around, and that's by the way a behavior change today, that we have to serve Web3, decentralized application, blockchain-oriented applications, right? Question always is, how important is it? Okay? How important is it? So and then say here, hey, the customer wanted commute, go to work, personal mobility, be different from others, right? That's what they wanted basically as a job to get done, right? What is it we are offering? Well, we offer the Model S or the Model Y, right? Then we have, right? So that's basically how you start matching the what we deliver, right? The same thing here. We say, what are the obstacles? Okay, what are the obstacles to get actually, what am I doubting about? And I say, wait a second, if they doubt about the battery, if my customer doubts about autonomous driving, we need to address that, right? And then we go and say, hey, you were saying lack of charging station, but you have every 50 kilometers or miles, whatever, right, you have charging stations. You were charging about the fear of dead of battery, but you actually get a range of 400, 500, 600 miles, right? And you start basically addressing that. And last but not least, we go with the same approach into the gains. What is it you want to achieve? And how much do we deliver with our product, right? Say, hey, I would like to have a design car. Well, with your product, you can then say explicitly on the website, in an email, in your collaterals, in your decks, right? That, I put the alarm because we have mentors slide up 10, so that's the reason why. And so basically you focus on the style. And last but, and in the next slide, thank you so much. And next, because this we already know. So the result is what, Tommaso? What we call a fit. Okay? An overlap, a fit between the customer jobs to be done, okay, and the product that we are building. And the way that the two main pillars that you want to focus on, say, why should I do it, Tommaso? Address essential customer gains. What are the most important customer gains when they would be swiping the credit card in your product? And address those with the extreme customer pains, right? And that's the framework that I was talking about. What is the framework again? It's a value proposition, not a gut feeling. What is the result, Thomas? You started out by saying there is a sentence, right? Our Model S, you see by the way that I'm sharing this with you and including where you would find, right? You see that now you can just templatize and insert based on your, right? And the beauty of that is, because now in your marketing and in your pitch, you can A/B tests too. Because you can start with the priority one and then you say, well, maybe the priority one is wrong, and then you go into priority two and you start addressing priority twos. Does that make sense? So far so good? So my Model S helps a specific customer segment. So you insert, in this case I was mentioning doctors just as an example, right? Who wants to? Jobs to be done. What is it? To commute, right? You have a sports car, you insert it here, right? By, and here you put a verb, reducing, avoiding, right? Avoiding what? Reducing what? So you see the arrow goes down here. A customer paid. Okay? And then the arrow goes up, increasing, enabling a customer gain, right? You could also, what I also do like, I admit, is when the sentence starts actually with this one here. Unlike others that are still relying on gas, okay? Our product, right? So let's zoom out a second and let's go back to the beginning. If you don't have a clear value proposition, a clear way of expressing what you are doing, a way of expressing what you are doing that the listener, me, like if you guys pitch me, I know exactly how much you have rehearsed based either on a framework or just out of your mind. And what happens is, and by the way, this is again, I'm very thankful for this specific location in the world here, because it's all about pitching, right? So and you hear a lot, and when somebody pitches me, and I hear that the person has not even done the effort to create a value proposition, what is it that I do? I don't even listen to one. I said, congratulations on your efforts. Good luck. Come back when you have success. That's it. Because I say, wait a second, I'm not discriminating anybody, but I'm saying, not right yet. Didn't do even the effort to communicate, right? And it's not about the beauty also of this location is, and you guys know that I'm Italian, Brazilian, German, whatever, right? A mix of everything. Like I lived in those locations. It's not about the accent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all here. What matters is how much effort did you put in adapting to what this ecosystem can do best and conveying it best. What does this ecosystem can do best? Innovation. How do you convey it? There are frameworks, right? So it becomes almost an expectation. Okay? Now, is it wrong if you don't do it like this? I'm saying it's wrong. I'm just signalizing if you pitch 10 people and you don't have a structure, okay? Then you're wasting your time. Cool. Should we just real quick share, now I'm done with this one here. Should we real quick share the mentors that are lined up, okay? We have 9 or 10 mentors lined up. Same format as the last time. I don't know if the mentors see me. First of all, there's Lucy. Mentors, thank you so much for doing this, okay? I'm grateful for you contributing to the class. Class, you excited? Woo! Space of value, mentors from Silicon Valley here engaging with you and guiding you, yes, okay? So please pick their brains, share what you do. You would like to share the last assignment that you got, okay? And then engage through questions, okay? And feel free to ask beyond what you basically are thinking that you might need. If you would like to involve beyond, right? It's always up to the mentor, right? And with that, I would like to hand over and just share with you just real quick the startups and mentor matching.
Yes, I'm having trouble sharing.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. It's in the chat. The link is in the chat for the spreadsheet.
Oh, you want to click on that? Or
Mhm.
Does it
Do you
work?
have the link open? Do you have the link open here?
Oh, it's in my
Yeah,
this one
this
here, just now, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Okay, just real quick here, we have, I want to go through the startups.
And let me share the screen. There we go.
Okay. So we have
There we go.
Sesame with Hisuan Lee. Please feel free already to meet your mentor. And the way that you meet your mentor, just for the mentors that eventually are new here, it will automatically happen in the launch of the Air Meet. You basically are invited to go to the table of each respective startup. So Sesame is with Shusan Lee. We have sustainability with Even. Thank you, Even. Thank you, Susan. Then we have Insider with Inder. Thank you, Inder. Then we have Reward Coin with Alina. Hi, Alina. Thanks for doing this. Joe, fantastic. Thanks again for joining us with Team Healthcare. Alan, thanks, Alan, again, with Apollo. Education with Francesco Vincenti. Thanks, Francesco. Sounds like an Italian peer of mine. we have Chris Peralta in the house, guys. This is now big munitions with Klachi. Thanks, Chris. And Mona Lizard with Jen. Thank you so much, Jen. Well, at this point, I would like to thank you and engage with the mentors. We'll see you next week.
Amazing.
And now
Okay,
we go back
perfect.
into pause session.
It's so funny. Hi everyone, welcome back. Just give us 1 minute in class to get ourselves organized.
Back live. Everybody can hear me? Can everybody hear me? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Wow. I'm telling you guys, I'm now live and in class. Also, everybody looks at the screen. This is, online to offline, offline to online. Let me take a picture here. This is so odd, man. Yeah. Okay, cool. Guys, I know that most of you are on chat. How valuable was the mentorship? Make some noise, or virtual? Was it good? Fantastic. Okay, make some noise here, chat virtually. Do I see something here? I don't see any engagement. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Very helpful. Thank you so much. And actually, the thank you, we should thank the mentors. Really, guys, please join me. Everybody goes online and thanks the mentors. Please, let's do this, right? So send a note to the mentors, right? And very useful. Wow, thank you so much. Mentors, dear peers, thank you for your time. This is awesome, outstanding. Thank you, mentors. Thank you, Manan, to say that, right? Just real quick, right now, what is fundamental to the situation in which we are in is talk with your customer. Customer interview, customer interview, customer interview. Okay? And don't be skeptic or fearful because you're not selling anything. You're just asking questions. Hey, I'm a UC Berkeley student. I'm at a class, Entrepreneurship and Decentralized Application. I have 2 questions, okay? And then through each and every interview, you are learning. So the way that you're positioning and pitching your customer 1 is different than it's going to be customer 2, different customer 3. And that's how you start pivoting and adjusting, okay? And this gives you confidence. And when you come back to your team with confidence, because you have evidence, you have confidence, your team dynamics start flourishing even more, and you're more engaged in what you do. And then the beauty of that is that nobody can tell you anything in terms of, well, are you sure you're really building this for a potential customer? Because you have evidences. And because then you say, well, Tommaso, I spoke with 3, 4, 5 customers. That's what they said. That's what I learned. That's what we understood. And did you, Tommaso, speak with them? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. That's what we learned. And based on that, you start pivoting, okay? So I would like to, I know that it's a crucial moment because either you are now scared and you fall back in what you do because you try to just assess this digitally and just to do stuff digitally in terms of seeking things and hypothesis, building your hypothesis furthermore based on what you have in mind, but you need to move out of your comfort zone. And regardless if you're an engineer, a designer, or a marketer, this is a skill set that every entrepreneur should learn. We are here to develop entrepreneurial skill sets, and this is fundamental. Talk with people. Prepare your presentation. You're not selling anything. They don't buy it. Okay? But just move out of your comfort zone. So I would like to challenge each and every one of you to talk at least with 10. By the way, last time I taught here at UC Berkeley, I was so impressed. You know what one team did? They brought the customer into class. Who of you is capable of doing that? And for those customers, I'm going to throw the entire team a pizza evening if you are going to be capable of doing it. I swear. You can write it in group. Tommaso said, okay, he throws a pizza evening for this group that brings the customer in class. Okay? Because if the customer makes it to come in class, by the way, cannot be a friend. Okay? Don't bring your mom, don't bring your grandmother, your brother, right? This must be somebody that is not a friend. Okay? Anyhow, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Again, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next week. Prepare for the presentation. I hope it was of value. Love you. I'll meet you in the metaverse. Bye-bye, guys.
Okay, and the code word is value proposition. So, yep, awesome. And I also, by the way, I sent a couple announcements in the channel and Airbnb. So make sure to finish